Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new tier list video, guys. Today, we're going to be ranking pretty much all the death spells here. Now, you guys know the drill. We got a lot of spells to get through. There's just a freaking crap ton of death spells, obviously, as there is with every school. So, in the past, I did this with all the storm spells and all the fire spells. Both of those videos actually did really well. So, it seems like a lot of people do enjoy the tier lists, so honestly, it's better than creating actual ideas for videos, so you guys seem to enjoy them a lot. So anyways, guys, we're going to be ranking all the death spells here today. Obviously, it's my opinion, guys, but as you should know, this is the definitive death spell tier list, so whatever I say goes, and I'm pretty much right no matter what, and yeah. So anyways, guys, let's get into the first spell here. Hopefully you all are having a fun time while quarantined. Hopefully this entertains you at least a little bit. So anyways, guys, moving on to the first spell you get as a Death Wizard. You get Dark Sprite. So I have all these images in one layer though. Basically, this just makes it a little bit easier for me instead of just like I guess having each individual image for a spell, so I don't have to click on a new layer every time. You guys get the point. Anyways, so we have Dark Sprite here, guys. Where would I put Dark Sprite? Honestly, I'm gonna put him in D tier. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Actually, I don't know. Should I enlarge these images? I don't know. They're pretty poor quality. I don't know. You guys can still see that it's Dark Sprite, though. So Dark Sprite, I'm actually gonna move it up to C tier. Okay, so here's my reasoning, right? Dark Sprite, it's just the first spell you get as a Death Wizard, right? It's a classic, obviously. I find the spell a little bit annoying, personally, but I don't know, guys. I'm just gonna put it in C tier. Obviously, it's not that powerful, right? I mean, it's the first spell you get. Like, you can't put it much higher than C tier. But it is a classic, so I guess that gives it some points. I don't know. So, anyways, guys, Death Trap is up next. Honestly, a bit of an underutilized spell, in my opinion. I mean, I really like Death Trap, actually. I use it a lot on my death. Basically, guys, I'm doing these tier lists in order of, like, how well I know each school's spells. So I know Fire the best, then Storm, and then I'm pretty familiar with all the death spells, though, so I mean, I don't know. It shouldn't be too hard. Death Trap, I'm going to put in A tier. Guys, honestly, I mean, Death Trap as a whole, like, obviously, it's not as good as Death Blade, right, which gives a 40% damage. It gives 30%. But, I mean, it's still 0 pips. It's still a buff for your spells. I don't know, guys. Honestly, Death Trap, it's pretty good, so A tier for that. I think I've rated all the traps the same in all my videos. I don't know. Next up, guys, is going to be Ghoul. This guy, I really like Ghoul, honestly. Like, I don't know why. This spell, for some reason, is super nostalgic to me. So I'm going to put it right there with Dark Sprite because, I don't know. It's like, it's alright. You know, it's not too powerful. It doesn't suck, right? I mean, it gives you health back still, as do a lot of death spells. I mean, you'll see that's a common pattern here, right? But Ghoul, I don't know. There's nothing too special about it. I don't know. It's just Ghoul, guys. It's just Ghoul. I don't know what else to say on that. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I've made a video. Bear with me, guys. Deathblade, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knows where this is going. I don't have the right layer selected there. Yeah, gotta make sure I have the list selected. Deathblade's going in S tier. What can I say about Deathblade? It's your blade, it's your school's blade. You literally use it in every battle you do. I mean, Deathblade, guys. Next up, we got, what is that? Dream Shield, I think. Sorry, the icons are a little bit small this time around, but Dream Shield, minus myth damage and life damage. That goes in E tier, guys. What, like, I mean, come on. Like, life bosses, I swear, whenever I face a life boss, like, I don't know, all the worry just washes over me because I know I'll be fine. Same with, I mean, myth bosses are a little bit more annoying as you get into higher levels, but I just can't see this being used, like, outside of PvP, seriously, at all. I mean, it's just a shield spell. Like, why would you not just train Tower Shield instead? I don't know, guys. Next up, Death Shield. I mean, like... Oh, okay, wrong layer again. Sorry, that's happened a lot in the past. Death Shield. I'm between D and E here because I feel like Death is a little bit more worthwhile, like, blocking damage than either of these two schools. But honestly, guys, it's a shield, so it's going in E tier. I mean, seriously, none of these shields are just as good as Tower Shield. Like, literally, the only reason why you'd have this in your deck is to set for somebody in PvP. And sure, that could be useful, but, like, then again, a lot of times in PvP you don't know who you're going against. So I feel like they're just a little bit unreliable, guys. I don't know. I'm just gonna make sure I'm still recording there. But anyways, next up we got Banshee. I really like this spell, actually. Banshee's pretty cool. Alright. So yeah, we're just gonna be making new layers as we go, guys. I'm doing this in Photoshop, by the way. Banshee, I feel like I want to put it in C tier, but I feel like it deserves better. No, I'm just kidding. It's going in C tier, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's like not it's not super tactical. It's really just flat damage, and of course death doesn't do the most damage, and it doesn't even give you health back, so I feel like it goes in C tier, which is these kind of average spells that like some people use but some people don't. I don't know, guys. I mean, yeah, not much to say on that one. Next up we got Death Prism. Obviously all the prisms very interesting. I think this goes in B tier. I mean, like, the prisms are really useful, you know, like I think prisms as a whole really do belong in B tier because, like, I mean, they're prisms, like, they're useful, you know? You use them whenever you face the same school as you. I don't know. What is this? Pacify? Reduce threat on target. I'm gonna put this in F tier because I think all of these weird kind of spells that you get from Mortis, like Mortis the drug dealer in the back of the death school, the death tree, yeah, all these spells never really interested me that much. I find them kind of useless, not gonna lie, and kind of a waste of time. Don't waste your training points on, like, these spells like Pacify and, like, Threat and stuff like that. Don't do it, guys. Infection, you know, I think this spell's actually really tactical. I really do like Infection. So, I'm gonna put Infection at B tier. Really, yeah, I just think it's pretty useful, obviously in PvP for the most part. I mean, infecting your enemy is a pretty good play, really, if you have nothing else to do, or if, like, I don't know, maybe let's say they're a life. I don't know, guys. I think Infection is pretty good, though. It's pretty tactical. It's right up there with Death Prism. So next up, we got Sacrifice. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. So Sacrifice, yeah, this is an interesting one for sure. I feel like people are gonna have differing opinions on Sacrifice. Personally, I'm gonna put Sacrifice at A tier. I don't think it's quite that S tier level spell. I mean, it's not like incredible, but it's still a pretty amazing spell. I mean, it's a really good heal, especially if you're on the verge of dying. Like, this 250 damage doesn't really matter. I mean, it gives you a shit ton of health, and it's only 3 pips. Like, what can I say? It's pretty good value. It's pretty good bang for your buck there. But anyways, next up's gonna be Vampire. I think I'm gonna put this spell. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm gonna put this spell in B tier. I think it's up there with Infection and Prism. It's a bit better than. I think it's a little bit above average, which is really what B is. I think honestly, Vampire encompasses B tier as a whole because, you know, it does okay damage. It's not the best, but it does give you health back. It's a really cool looking spell, though. I like it a lot. I remember when I was a Death Wizard, like, a long time ago, and I got, like, Vampire for the first time. I don't know, that meant a lot to me, guys. Okay, Curse. Yeah, I think that's Curse there. Curse is pretty good. I use Curse on my Death a little bit. Not a ton, though. I think I'm gonna put this in B tier, just because it's literally just a weaker version of Death Trap. That's all it is, so not much to say on Curse, except it's a Death Trap that's weaker and is used less. Skeletal Pirate. You know, I really like the design and look of this spell. I think it goes in B tier as well, honestly. Like, it's pretty good, I think. I don't know, like, it does more damage than Vampire. It doesn't give health back, but it's just an upgraded Banshee, and it's just a little bit better than a Banshee. I don't know. It's good. I like the design of the spell. A lot of the Death spells, actually, I really like. I don't know. Death is a cool school. Anyways, next up we got Death Dispel here. I don't remember the spell's name. I can't really see it very well. Bear with me, guys. I'm a mess. But Death Dispel, you know, this is really situational. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier because of just how situational it is. Like, same with Prism's very situational, so is Infection. I mean, like, you know, if you need it and you have it, then it's really good to have. If you don't need it and you have it, then it's useless. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's pretty good, though. I think it's a bit above average. Like, these flat damage spells, I don't know. I think it's a bit better. But next up is going to be, ooh, this is a good one. Poison. I'm gonna put this one up in A tier, and my reasoning for that is with the little bit of PvP I have done, a lot of the deaths actually pack this spell, and that's because it actually does a really good amount of damage. Is it 4 pips? I think poison's 4 pips, right? And it does a lot of damage for 4 pips. Is it 4 pips or is it 5? I can't tell by the icon, guys, honestly. But I think it's 4 pips. Yeah, if I can see that correctly. It does a lot of damage. Obviously, it's over 3 rounds. It's kind of like Death's version of Fire Elf, kinda, except it's a bit stronger. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. I think Poison's very good. Really useful in PvP, so good spell for that. And I'm including PvP and PvE. I'm not an expert at PvP, though, so don't yell at me in the comments if I get something wrong. I don't know. Next up is gonna be, oh man, this one. This is interesting. It's kind of a troll spell. So we got Beguile next. That one, you know, this one. Gosh, where do I put Beguile? I'd like to put it in A tier because, like, I don't know. I feel like in some boss fights, Beguile's very good to kind of cheese the boss, right? And that's a lot of fun. Then again, in PvP, it's like low-key useless because obviously it takes one round to take effect. I'm gonna put it, I don't know, it's kind of a good spell though. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's a little bit better than I think Infection or Prism. I might get some hate for that, I'm not really sure, but I really do like Beguile as a spell. It's kind of interesting. I like the dynamic of it, of like turning the enemy to your team. I don't know, I think it's a cool spell. But anyways, up next we have, that is Sacrifice Minion for Health, I believe. Okay. This spell, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I don't use minions a lot, so I'm gonna put this in C tier. Like, I just don't, I don't know, I don't see the point, really, unless you really need to sacrifice your minion for health, because, like, in PvP, minions are very strategic, and you kind of like to keep them around. I guess if your minion was on really low health, but then again, in PvP, wouldn't you want your enemy to waste a turn, like, killing your minion anyway? Yeah, I don't know, that's very situational, but I think that's a little bit worse than those. I don't know. I'm kind of actually, should I put it, you know what, fuck it, I'm putting it in D tier. Like, honestly, I don't think it's a very useful spell. Next up, well then, we've got my, husband over here, Feint. Yeah, that goes in S tier. That goes, like, I'm just gonna, like, put that above the rest of the cards because that's where it belongs, guys. Feint is, what can I say about Feint? It is a crucial spell, literally in every way. You can use it in pretty much any fight. It's so useful in, I don't know how many people actually use it in PvP. I don't know, I'm sure it has its fans, but so useful. Literally essential for just any boss fight. I mean, what can I say, guys? You all know what Feint does. I don't know. I think I gotta go a bit quicker here. It's been a while since I've done one of these spell tier list videos. Next up, Animate, Summon a Minion of Death. That one, it's a minion spell. I'm not too big on minions. I feel like it's okay though. I think it's better than these. I think it goes up here. Kind of strategic. I don't see this being used a lot in boss fights, but I don't know. Is that like, how many pips does that cost? Is it like a spell, like an X spell, where it just takes your pips and then summons a minion based on how many pips you have? I think it's one of those. So I mean, the minion could be really good. So I'm gonna put it in B tier because I think that's pretty situational as well. Next up we have Plague. This one's pretty interesting. I think this belongs in B tier, honestly. Like it's okay. Like, you'll use it, I'm sure, sometimes, like in boss fights, if you're like one of those, if you're playing like a support death, that can be really good to have. I mean, just to weaken the enemies just like a little bit more, I guess. Like, it's okay. It's not like amazing, but it's like good, I guess. I don't know. I don't use Plague a lot. Next up is that Doom and Gloom? Okay. Yeah, Doom and Gloom. So, my opinion on, okay, fuck. My opinion on Doom and Gloom, right? I mean, I think it honestly belongs in A tier, and listen, I might get some hate for that, because I feel like this spell's, like, universally hated, unless you're the one using it, right? I feel like it's very strategic, like, very strategic. A lot of these cards up here are very strategic in the A tier. I think it's very strategic. It's essential, honestly, in some of the boss fights, like, to change the bubble if you want to change the bubble, or, like, if the enemy heals a lot. Doom and Gloom can be really useful for that. In PvP, obviously it can be very useful as well, depending on what school you're going up against and what school you are, so it's very situational, but I think it's used really well in the situations it is good for, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's where I put that. Okay, what's after Doom and Gloom? Ooh, Dark Pact, okay. I would say this spell, I say this spell belongs in A tier, honestly. Where is it? There it is. I feel like, I don't know, with this spell tier list, I feel like I'm very sure of myself in my opinions, whereas on the last two, I feel like I'm kind of going back and forth between stuff. But Dark Pact, I think it's an A tier. Obviously, you don't want to use it if you already have, like, a few Death Blades up, or else it'll waste them, but if it's the first blade going up, I mean, it's just an extra blade. Like, who doesn't want an extra blade? And it does such a small amount of damage, it really doesn't matter. So, in my opinion, Dark Pact is a really good spell. Next up, is that Empower, I think? Yeah, okay. I mean, Empower is, I think, B tier. Honestly, I'd put it at B tier. shit, what do I do? Yeah, there's the layer. Forgot how to use Photoshop for a second. No biggie. I'm gonna put that in B tier. Wow, we got a lot of B tier spells. Not that many D, E, F yet. I'm sure we'll get to those though. Empower, it's pretty strategic as well. Like a lot of the A's and B's are very strategic. Empower, you know, it's not bad. Like I guess once again, it's really situational. Like if you need those pips, right? You're obviously gonna use it, right? If you don't need them, then it's kind of useless. I don't know. Next up is gonna be Wraith, guys. Okay, let me make sure I got the right layer selected. So Wraith here. Let's get him in here. This is an interesting one. It's kind of an upgraded version of Vampire. I really like Wraith. Like, honestly, I think it's very useful. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Honestly, it's a very cool spell. I remember I saw it for the first time. I was fucking dumbstruck because, like, I don't know. The spell, like, kind of looks insane. I really like Wraith. I think it's a really good spell. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely use it over Vampire. It's got decent value, and if you have a lot of blades, you can get a lot of health back, so I like Wraith. Wraith is good. Wraith is good. Next up, Scarecrow. Oh god. Scarecrow, guys. Scarecrow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, guys, I'm gonna get some hate for this. My reasoning here, guys. There are a lot better alternatives to use than Scarecrow, okay? It has 7 pips. It is 7 pips, right? Mind you, it does give you health back on pretty much everyone that you attack, right? But it does 400 damage, or 400 and something damage. I can't read that. It's in the 400s for damage, and it has 7 pips. It's like as strong. It's only like, I guess it's a bit stronger than a Meteor Strike, but it's 7 pips, guys. I'm sorry, this spell, I don't know. It might have been good at some point, but unless you have a lot of blades, I just don't see Crow being very good. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Next up, you got Mega Pacify. Awesome. Yeah, another Pacify. Yeah. So this spell, honestly, I'm just gonna. Yeah, no, this belongs in F tier too. It's even smaller than its little sibling over there. Mega Pacify. Once again, don't get these spells. These spells are bad. Do not try to argue with me, okay, in the comments that these spells are good, because they're just not. I'm sorry. Next up, guys, we have Virulent Plague. I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. I don't fucking know. This spell, I'm gonna put this one in A tier. I think this spell is actually really, really good, especially in those boss fights where the boss, like, outputs a ton of damage. I think the spell is actually really, really good for that. Obviously, same with Plague here. I think it's a bit better than Plague. It's very useful, and if you are playing a support death, it is a very, very nice spell to use. So, anyways, that's all for Virulent Plague. I'm sorry, guys, I can't talk. I'm a mess. Skeletal Dragon, guys. Whew. Yeah, sorry, guys. This is gonna be a rough rest of the video. I feel like this is gonna be longer than some of my other spell tier lists. I don't know. Skeletal Dragon, I'm gonna put in S tier. I think this spell, it's like an upgraded Poison. I mean, Poison's really, really good already. Skeletal Dragon, you stack a few blades on. I mean, you're set, seriously. In both PvP and PvE, it's a very good spell all around. I mean, yeah, what can I say besides it's just an upgraded Poison? The spell itself looks amazing. Honestly, really love it. Dr. Vaughn's Monster, yeah. Yeah. I think this is, like, the definition of, like, a D tier spell. Like, okay, here's the thing, guys. I get it. I think this is gonna be another Crow situation where I get some hate for this, right? The spell itself, you know, maybe in PvP I could maybe see it, like, working a little bit. It's kind of just an upgraded Vampire, once again, except it gives a, like, little infection or something. Guys, I just don't see when you would use this, really. It's just so many pips for just not that much damage, and you get some health back, which is good. You know, I think it's just, I feel like it just does more bad than good. You know, it's just way too expensive, I think, and it is kind of situational, but not in a good way. So anyways, I'm going to put that there. That's my strong opinion on that. Next up, we got Mass Death Prism. I mean, like, I guess I'd put this in... Does it belong? No, I feel like it's not quite A tier. I don't know. I mean, unless everyone you're fighting is death, like... Yeah, no. I think it goes in B tier. Once again, just a bunch of Death Prisms as opposed to one. I mean, you don't use it for anything else, so I feel like it belongs right where Death Prism is, right there. Next up is Mass Infection. This is an interesting spell. I think the same with The same with Mass Death Prison here. I think it belongs in B tier with its brother, Regular Infection, because obviously it's a bit more pips, but you get more infections out of it, so I don't know. I mean, fight me on that one, I don't know. I could argue this belongs in A tier, but I don't know. I feel like it's just not that much better than a Regular Infection for me. I don't know. Situational, right? A lot of these spells are situational. Bad Juju. Oh my god, this spell. I think honestly this spell's earned an S tier spot. I think it's really, really good, both in PvE and PvP. Obviously, once again, similar to Virulent Plague, if the boss outputs a ton of damage, Bad Juju's very good for that. As well as it's just really good value. I mean, like in PvP, like come on, if your opponent's spamming this, like you're more than likely to quit the match, honestly. Bad Juju is just a really, really good spell. Death actually does have some really good spells now that I'm looking at this. Yeah. Next up, we've got a weird death minion person thing. I don't think I'm missing any spells in this list, by the way. So we got a few random ones here. I think I'm just gonna put this in B tier with the other minion because I don't know, they're just minions. They don't mean very much to me, but you know, I don't think they're bad or anything. But next up is Death Spear. I think I'm gonna put this. I think this belongs with Dr. Vaughn. I mean, like, come on, when are you ever going to use this? Like, maybe in PvP, but like, come on, guys, that's what Pierce stats are for. Okay, that's my argument for that. Next up is Death King Art here. Okay, Death King Art. He is not bad. I would put him. I would. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to. What does it do? Okay, I think it does. It gives you like an infection and then minus 25 to something here. I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier because I've seen this spell used before. It's obviously pretty good in PvP. It's pretty decent. I mean, I think all the King Art spells for every school is like pretty good. I think they're pretty solid spells overall. It's an A tier. I think it's a really good spell. Honestly, yeah, it does have some cool effects there. But yeah, honestly, probably mostly good for PvP, but you know, not a bad spell overall. Avenging Fossil. Oh boy, what a classic. A classic D tier, that is, because honestly, I don't see anyone use this spell very much. I don't think it's very good by any means. Sure, I mean, it does a decent amount of damage. It does some over time, but like, when are you actually gonna save up 10 pips to cast this? Please, tell me a situation where you'd actually want to use this. I know for a fact I'm a fire main, and I don't pack Sun Serpent like ever. Seriously, like ever. These spells are never used. I'm just saying, the level 88s, they're a bit outdated in my opinion. Next up is the Age of Reckoning, is that what it says? I haven't been much of a bubble person myself. I'm gonna put this in B tier though, because it's not inherently bad. I mean, it gives you more crit and more pierce, which is obviously good. I just feel like bubbles, I don't know. Taking a breath there. I find bubbles very inconvenient. I just don't really want to spend the pips for them, I guess. That's a personal preference, though. I'm sure lots of people love bubbles. And all you bubble haters out here can come at me, but I think it's B tier because it's not bad. It's a pretty good spell. I just don't find myself using it a lot, or other people that much. Oh boy. Oh, this guy. Crap. This guy, S tier. I mean, what can I say about this spell? Oh man. Who remembers in Darkmoor when this spell would just take absolutely ages to cast, when it would just attack each one with its hentai tentacles just one at a time and then give you the health back one at a time? Obviously, changes have been made since then to make the spell a lot quicker. This spell's very, very good. It's only 5 pips and 1 shadow pip. It does a lot of damage and it gives you all the health back. I mean, what can I say? This spell is amazing. Like, this spell is fucking incredible for death, and Death's lucky to have it. I mean, it's very good. Winged Sorrow here. I think this belongs... Oh, okay, fuck. Told you guys I was gonna make that mistake a lot. But yeah, it's because I'm doing it a new way this time. Winged Sorrow here. Am I still recording? Great. I've had many tier list videos before where it's weird like how it works. If I hit the record button, sometimes it just doesn't record because that hotkey is used for something else in Photoshop. Anyways, you guys don't care about that. Winged Sorrow, I think it's between A and B. I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think. Yeah, I think it belongs in A tier. It does decent damage for its value. Not quite Call of Karulu level or whatever that is, but it gives the weakness as well, so overall a pretty decent spell there. The next one, Kisma's Curse, is that what that one is? I think so. Kisma's Curse here. There we go. I think this belongs right up there with Winged Sorrow. Obviously it does a bit more damage than, does it do more damage than Winged Sorrow? I mean, maybe. It's a divided spell though, so I don't know. I mean, it's less pips though, so it is really good value. It doesn't give the weakness like Winged Sorrow does, but it's obviously really good value. You need a Shadow Pip, but it's really good value, and you get good damage out of it. I don't know, guys. Next up is going to be Scion of Death. Scion of Death, this one's interesting. I feel like it's not the best Scion. In my opinion, the best Scion is probably the Storm Scion. But the Death Scion, where should I put this one? Where should I put the Death Scion? I feel like it belongs in B tier. Now listen, guys. Listen. It's a Scion, right? Scions are very situational. Like, very situational. The whole spell is built so it can be situational, right? And Death Scion is just kind of that middle-of-the-road Scion. I don't think it's inherently bad. I think it can be good sometimes. Obviously, like most Scions. It follows, you know, the rule of very situational. Obviously, if your conditions, you know, pertain to the Scion, it can be really good. But the Death Scion is kind of middle of the road. I don't think it's the worst Scion by any means, but it's definitely not the best, so I think I'd put it in B tier. Next up is Deer Knight. Oh boy. Oh, this spell's scrumptious, guys. I mean, what can I say? Like, I think it belongs in S tier. Like, let's just be real here. Like, you know, as a Death Wizard, if you were a Death Wizard at some point, you were trying to get this spell, right? Some of you probably succeeded in getting it, some of you probably didn't, whether it was spamming Knight's lore packs or farming for reagents to craft the spell. I personally crafted the spell on my death, because I literally got every spell from the Knight's lore pack except for Deer Knight. Yeah, that was a bad time in my life, guys, but overall, this spell is really, really useful. It's really useful. Obviously, enchanted, it does mass damage. It's only 5 pips. I mean, it's a really, really good spell for death. Like, it does more than Skeletal Pirate, and it's to all enemies. Like, come on, the spell is amazing. I mean, it might not be good as as good as some of the other spells up here. It's probably like an S- if that tier existed. But it's still a very, very, very useful spell that I use all the time on my death. Next up is Lord of Night. I remember I got the spell on my fire, I think. I don't know. It's decent. It's okay. Like, I don't know. C tier, maybe? I don't know. Basically, it's your traditional vampire-like spell where it gives you health back. But it puts an infection on. But I feel like it's a little bit worse than vampire just because it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Like, some people would argue it's kind of garbage. You know, I'd kind of agree with them. It's kind of garbage. But it's C tier because it's not hot garbage, if that makes sense. Guys, last but certainly not least. Oh, I love this spell, actually. This spell's really good. Headless Horseman. I'm going to put this, like, right there, guys. I'm going to put it between A and S. You could either say it's like an A+ or an S-. This spell is really good. I mean, for PvP, obviously, that damage output, it's huge. It's only 4 pips. Enchanted, it can do, like, almost 700 damage, and that's without, like, that's with just purely enchanted for 4 pips. Like, that's insane for PvP. I have this spell on my death. My death's like a level 70 or something, you know, so he's in like Zepharia or some shit, or like Avalon. No, he's in Avalon, and I still use this spell to kill like bosses and stuff, just because it's only 4 pips. It's really good to spam, especially if you crit, even if you have blades on. This spell is really, really good. You know what? Fuck it. No, it's going up there with all the S's, because these spells are awesome. I mean, S tier as a whole is just awesome, guys. So yeah, anyways, to recap, that was all the spells, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that tier list. So S tier, obviously, we've got these spells. A tier, those. B tier was huge in this one. I feel like B and A are always kind of huge. Didn't have that many in C, D, E, F. I mean, a lot of the spells that Death has are really good, and a lot of spells that a lot of the schools have are really, really good, really strategic spells. This probably was the tier list with the most strategic spells so far. Yeah, just wait till we do the myth tier list, guys. Anyways, guys, let me know what spell tier list you guys would want to see next from me. I really enjoy doing these videos. They're extremely low effort, and I love talking about my opinions, guys, so hopefully you all did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, guys. Enjoy your time in quarantine. Hopefully you guys are washing your hands and keeping your family safe. from Corona, and hopefully I could provide a little bit of entertainment for you guys. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video in general, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care, guys.